Welcome back to the channel, people. My name is John Ryan from Coffee Talkin' Tech, and we talk about how to improve your audio and video for live streaming and content creation. Today, I'm excited. We have a new PTZ camera. This is a 4K 60 frames per second capable PTZ camera made by the good people at Tenveo. Now, Tenveo is not new to the PTZ market, that's for sure. They've been doing this for quite a while, and this is their newest 4K 60 frames per second multiple cable connectivity PTZ. Typically, you don't use a camera like this as close as I am. This camera is only 3 feet away. It actually gives you a little bit better of an image when you're about 4 to 6 feet away, but I think it's incredibly good for what it is right now, and I am shocked that the image is good. Now, this is set up a little bit higher above my monitor, so it is facing down to me. It isn't like totally level, and this is why this image may seem a little bit different, or I may be looking up at this camera. But overall, I'm thoroughly impressed by this camera. This camera is a $999 camera on Amazon and right from their website. Okay, so let's go over some of the key features for this camera, starting out with its massive 30 times optical zoom. And on top of that, you get a 16 times digital zoom. That's pretty incredible. This camera allows you to capture crisp, stunning details like legible facial expressions and text from over 100 feet away. 4K video built around a 1/1.8 8.42 megapixel Sony sensor. It outputs up to 4K 60 frames per second over HDMI, giving you a high quality production, along with its AI tracking showing up in 3 different distinct modes: presenter tracking, auto framing, and zone tracking. Connectivity is not a problem for this camera. The back panel is loaded. It comes with many broadcast options like HDMI, SDI, USB 3, and also a LAN port. Also included with this camera, NDI HX3 for low latency video streaming. It also comes with the other standards like SRT, RTMP, and RTSP protocols. This camera also accepts PoE, which is power over Ethernet. So this camera can receive power, control signals, and stream video through one single Ethernet. Additional functions include a tally light, 3D support for virtual productions, and line in, line out audio. So there's a few more things that I want to go over about this camera. First, I spoke about the remote and that you can hit the menu and then the menu will pop up on the screen and you can make those adjustments in the camera on the menu. But when you do the unboxing, there's that little thing I said, save this card. If you didn't see that, make sure you're saving this card. That's the Tenveo IP Search Tool User Guide. And it tells you to download something and then you put your IP address in and then you can look for your device. And then when you get into the IP web device tool, you can make all your changes in there. I want to go and show you what you can do in there and that you just don't have to use this remote. I'm going to hit the web address tool. It's going to search for my device and I found it and then I'm going to access it. Now the standard login, which I still have, is admin. And then you could log right into this device. So now I'm going to show you that screen and then I'm going to go through all those devices that you can see in there. Okay, so now you're looking at the web tool. You can see the address is in the toolbar there and your address might be different. And we're going to go through some of these things in here. There's a lot to go through, but I just want to go through a few of them. You can see you have your PTZ controls in here. So I can move myself left, right, back, forth, anything. I do have presets in here. So if we go and call 1, that's where I kind of was filming from the get-go. And if I wanted to hit 2 and I call it, it shows my overhead cam. But also remember, I can just use the remote. So I'm going to put this remote over my shoulder and hit 3. And then you see it takes me back to this little upper view that I showed you. It's not quite the beginning that I showed you. This would be the number 1. Okay, so you can go and access your presets in here. You can see you have your pan speed, your tilt speed, your zoom in, zoom out, how you want to focus, auto. Do you want to center it? Do you want it to be up on top or bottom? And then you just hit submit. Right here is something that says record on and off. I'm going to show you in a little bit what that does. Okay, because if you didn't know, you can also record to a USB stick or a hard drive if it's the appropriate one. And then here's your image. You can go into manual or auto and change your white balance. So that would be you'd be able to change your hue, your B gain, your R gain, which is your blue and red, your saturation. Here's your exposure. So you can change your f-stop. So this will bring in more light and you're going to see this lighten up. I have it on F4 right now. Your shutter speed. Okay, and your DRC, you can mess with this. It will change your image and you got to see what would work best for you. And then you have normal things like your sharpness, gamma, brightness, contrast. So you got to hit submit after you do this, but all this is in here. And then we go into your tracking. All right, so also in tracking, you have 3 different kinds, the presenter, the zone, the auto framing, and you can make all those changes here, turn it on and off, have your PTZ. After you turn it off, you can go and zoom in, zoom out, whatever you want to do. Right now, I have auto framing on and it's set to default, and let's turn that on and it should pick me up right away. There it is. There's your auto framing. And then if I move over here and I stand up, I can come over and I could take a look at my FX30. I could show it to you. And then I'm very close to this, so I don't really want to move any closer. It's really, I'm at the minimal distance that I should be. So I don't want to change that up at all. But then I could put this down after talking about it, and then I could move back to my seat. And then I can turn off the tracking. And then I can make sure I'm in the spot that I was. So I could hit this button. That's fine too. and it looks like it took me kind of right back to where I was. I'm pretty sure. I can even go back to home and I can preset my number 1 position right here and call it. And there it is. That is my number 1 position. Simple as that. So I just wanted to show you. Here's your video settings. So HDMI, SDI, so you can go in here and change those. You can go and change your stream if you want MJPEG or H.264 or 265. Bit rates, frame rates. If you're doing multi-streaming, you can set up your second stream. Here's your network settings. Here's your NDI settings. Captions if you want. If you're using IP cameras, you put names for them. And then here is your information, your user, your initialize. This is where you can upgrade your firmware. And here's your recording settings. I just wanted to show you this quick because we're talking about the US flash drive that you can use. I have it set to MP4, and I am going to plug this in and see if it finds this right now. All right, so I just plugged it in the camera and you saw it pop up right here, right? And you could hit format if you want to, or you want to mount it. So let's just mount it. And it says successful, but let's go check now if I can record. So if you remember, I'm going to go back to home, and then I should be able to click on this record, which I can. It's not telling me I can't. We'll hit that on. And now it's recording to the USB drive right as we speak. So that's how you do that. And this is just how long it will record before it breaks it up into different segments. So I have it set to half an hour. You could put it to 15 minutes. I think that's what it comes with normally. And then here's your tally lights if you want them on or off on the camera. So this is how you can go and access all these cool things. You're going to have to plug into your network to be able to access the IP tool. But what I do right now have is my Ethernet plugged in and an HDMI. And so I can make the connection, but you could see me on HDMI, and that's where we're at right now, 4K 30. All right, so here in this scenario, I'm inside on the computer and I set up tracking, and he's just walking around taking a look at the camera. As he sees the camera move, he knows it's tracking him. So he's just helping me out, and we're seeing how the tracking's going. Now this is an auto framing, so you noticed it moved over to center both my wife and him together. We noticed this happen. And then as he walks away, it will just pick him up and start tracking him again. Now, if he stopped mid-frame, it would give it a little bit of difficulty. But since he just walked out, it just started tracking him again. And so when he's by himself and he's just tracking and auto framing, it does a good job. This is 30 frames per second. So it's not too fast where it makes it choppy. I would need like 60 frames per second to be able to really do this justice when you start moving faster. But I think like there's the pole right in the middle, and it kept on tracking him. See the pole, the basketball pole's right in front of him, and it still just kept on him, which was pretty impressive. I like the way it was doing that. And again, as he moves around fast, it picked him up as he moved, and then it captures both of them again. And then if he moves forward, let's see what this does. It's just going to start picking him up, or is it going to go over to my wife? Okay, see what happened? So if he kept moving, it would have stayed on him, but then it just reverted back to my wife and then centers her. So that's what can kind of happen when you're doing this. And there he is again, so it will center them both together. And then if he moves by himself, it will just pick him up by himself again. So, okay, so now I just turned on the auto framing half body or full body because I had it. No, this is probably full body. So he's moving, so it is going to take a bit of time for it to pick up focus because I switched it on and he was moving, and so it makes it difficult. So it does take some time. And then finally, he picks him up because it helps out when he's facing it. So this is the thing. It's a little bit too close of framing because this is full body and it's really just above his knees. And the picture's nice. Don't get me wrong. It is very bright out. So I have this on like F10 because there is no ND filters for these. And I feel like the color and the picture looks really good. And the thing is, it's just a little too close if you just leave it up to the camera to zoom in. Now, what I like to do is I like where I could just control the zoom. I click off the zoom and I choose the zoom distance, and then it would just pan back and forth and track him. So that is an option in the settings that I used a couple times and I did prefer. All right, so since I am in my front yard, I wanted to give you a real good view of the zoom. And this is the 30 times optical zoom all the way across the street, across my yard. And you can read that clearly on that telephone pole. And then I pull back just to give you an idea how far this is. And it's about 60 or 70 feet, I would guess. So that's pretty impressive. So now quickly, my son and I are moving the camera. I move the camera. See the Cat 5 on the ground? It's one Cat 5 to the back of the camera. I'm moving it out of the way, and we're going to set up some mats. And these are some jujitsu mats that we have, and we're going to place them together. And I'm going to have him do a few rolls just to be able to track him and just give you an idea in some of these crazy scenarios of how this tracks and what you think about it. And as you learn this camera, you definitely see that you can do a lot with it, and it's very versatile and effective at that. I enjoy it. There you go, some back rolls. Except the camera might want to get me. Stay there. So this way I don't confuse this camera at all. I'm going to go in the garage and now do some forward rolls and see how that looks.
Forward. Yeah.
And then can you shrimp back up for me? That's it. This is a little bit of jiu-jitsu warm-ups that he does. Okay. All right, now just stay there. So now we kind of see what happens. It zooms in really close to him. And then what happens if the fast action starts? It is a little bit easier to lose him. So we're going to let him start. Let's do some forward rolls and then shrimp back. And then give it some shrimping back. Okay, go catch it. So it did lose him. He saw that. Go back there. Do a couple cartwheels. Yeah. Ooh. One more. That's okay. And now it's still on you. So squat down and do a shrimp back. And then this is all the auto framing, doing everything itself. Now, I didn't make any adjustments. These are all standard settings, so we could increase those settings. And then like the speed of the pan, the speed of the zoom in, and that would make all the differences. But just to give you an idea, that's what it kind of looks like in a couple different methods. And as far as being able to use this in a sports scenario. Now, of course, if like we were playing tennis or basketball and you could back this camera off a heck of a lot more from a side angle, that would also be able to help with the control and not losing your subject. But this is just a quick idea of what you can do with this and what it is capable of. But of course, the positioning and the setting up of everything would be really important for everything to pan out like this. But that's all we're gonna do for today. And I thank you, sir, my son, helping out with a little bit of tracking and a little bit of testing with this camera. And I think it did a good job overall. I mean,
It did a pretty good job.
Yeah, it did a pretty good job. You can't expect this to work perfect. Plus, a lot of these settings were just standard settings, so then you'd have to really just work things in to be perfect for what you want. So, who should buy this camera for houses of worship where the camera can be mounted on a balcony or where you need to have versatility for camera placement? Because this 30 times optical zoom gives you the ability to place this camera at a distance and also be able to capture close-ups of the pastor or the choir or anything that you need to. So that makes a big difference for a lot of people, having this quality 30 times optical zoom on top of a 16 times digital zoom. And then also the second thing is that you get a better low light performance. Make sure before you check your PTZ camera that you don't have a 1/2.8 image sensor. This 1/1.8 image sensor makes a big difference. It is approximately 40 to 50% bigger sensor, which makes a huge difference in the quality of the video and also in low light production. This camera is also perfect for educational institutions or corporate presentations. The camera can automatically track the presenter or the professor on the stage as he's moving back and forth, and it can do this hands-free. And don't forget us creators running live streams single-handedly on OBS, vMix, or live sports venues. It's great for concert halls and government events also. And you can use the remote control or add a joystick to your PTZ. All right, so I guess we're at the point where people are going to ask, John, is this camera worth $1,000? So you must be saying, let me try to find a good PTZ camera. And you're realizing that it's not so easy to get 4K 60 with multiple connectivity along with a 1/1.8 sensor with nearly 8.5 megapixels on top of that. It's not an easy task. Then including NDI and the ability to record right to a USB stick right in the back of the camera. You would be really hard pressed to find all this included for $2,000. So there is that reason why you're watching this. And this camera seems to do a great job for the weeks that I've been using this and setting it up, and the image itself and the colors and the white balance all looks really good. Now, let me know how you feel with the image and make a comment down below and let me know, how did you think it looked? What other suggestions do you think at this price range would be a better choice? Because I really didn't find too many at this price range. Really, a handful exist. So for me, it passes the test. And this Tenveo VX30M Ultra should not be ignored. So if you're looking for a great PTZ camera, put this on your list. I will have a link to my Amazon down below. And give me a like if this helped you out, and throw me a question and I'll try to help you answer it. So I really appreciate you all for watching. Have a great day.